Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This video today is about L-brackets. If you don't know what an L-bracket is or what it does, I'll be demonstrating that for you here in just a moment. But the main reason I'm making this video today is to review these three L-brackets. These are three L-brackets made by three different companies, all of which are compatible with both the Canon EOS R5 and R6. The one here is the budget pick. This one costs $50 at the time of this video and is made by Sunwayfoto. The one on my left over here, this one costs 3 times as much, actually a little more than 3 times the price of the Sunwayfoto. This one retails for $165 in the United States. And part of the reason why I wanted to make this video and I ended up getting 3 is because I'm just genuinely curious to know if an L-bracket that costs 3 times as much is 3 times better. Then we have a third option down here at the far right, and this one is actually almost as expensive as the Really Right Stuff bracket, except it's about $5 less. This one is made by ProMediaGear. So an L-bracket is essentially like an enhanced Arca Swiss plate. There's a plate down here on the bottom. It's just like any other Arca plate, but an L-bracket, hence the name L, its shape bends around the side of the camera. And what makes the L-bracket special is that, not only obviously can you mount the camera this way, but you can also mount it this way because this is an Arca Swiss plate on the side of the L-bracket. So it allows you to quickly and easily get your camera vertical. But the true net benefit of an L-bracket isn't necessarily convenience, but output. An L-bracket increases the number of images that you're able to capture because you're able to move faster, because you're able to shoot with a landscape orientation and then flip it over into a portrait orientation and shoot more images this way. And this I have found to be especially important in the field when doing landscape photography, because sometimes you have like a very short window of time, say like 5 minutes or less, where the light is exactly how you want it to be. And sometimes it's kind of hard to tell when you're in the field whether an image is going to work best using a horizontal landscape orientation, or perhaps it might work better as a portrait. Well, the L-bracket gives you options. The L-bracket allows you to quickly flip between the two and to be capturing images both ways so that later in post, you can figure out which you like better. All right, the 3 L-brackets you see here are compatible with both the EOS R5 and R6. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through the pros and cons of each one, starting with the Sunwayfoto L-Bracket. First thing to know, just in general, is that all 3 brackets are machined from aerospace grade aluminum, which means that they are strong yet lightweight, and they all have a scratch-resistant black anodized finish. A particular interesting design feature of the Sunwayfoto plate is that this one has bubble levels built into it. I have found, though, in practical use, that maybe because I'm old and my eyes are shot, but these levels I just didn't find to be particularly useful because the bubbles inside are rather small and it's kind of hard to see from a distance. So maybe you'll have a better experience with it than I did. Another interesting feature of the Sunwayfoto is that this one has 3/4 inch threads that are drilled into the side of the bracket, and there are 2 up here on top. And this effectively makes the bracket behave kind of like a video cage, because then you can be attaching lights and mics and whatever kind of accessories you want onto the side of the camera. Down here on the bottom of the plate, not only do you of course have the 1/4 inch thread that screws into the bottom of the camera, but there are 2 metal pins here as well. And these are stabilizing pins. If you've never looked at the bottom of your R5 or R6, there are 2 pre-drilled holes on the bottom of the camera that are next to the 1/4 inch mount to the left and right. And these pins insert into those holes and they keep the camera from turning laterally. It just gives it a more secure footing on the plate. The other interesting feature that's actually in all 3 brackets, but they all do it a little bit differently, is the fact that the side arm over here is adjustable. When the camera is mounted vertically like so, it gives you more room to be plugging in cables and to be lifting, open those flaps and to be inserting a mic or a headphone jack or a headphone plug and or USB, HDMI, whatever it is that you're plugging in down here. All right, so now let's take a look at the second bracket. This is the one that is made by Really Right Stuff. And this is the one that costs 3 times as much. This one retails for $165. And the question is it 3 times better than the Sunwayfoto model? Well, I think in some ways the answer is yes, but unfortunately in some ways the answer is also no. So let's begin with some of the positives. On a positive note, this bracket is beautiful. It's elegant, it's clean, it's precise, it's lightweight, it's thin. The bracket is literally cut out of a solid block of aluminum. And you can tell that because there's no welds or joins in the corners, no pieces that have been retrofitted together or screwed together or anything like that. It is just one piece of metal. Also, just from a design purity perspective, this bracket isn't trying to be more than what it is, if that makes sense, because there's no 1/4-inch threads on the side here. I'm an L-bracket, and I'm gonna do one thing, and I'm gonna do it really, really well. And I feel like that's kind of the design philosophy behind this bracket compared to the other two. And one place you definitely see that design philosophy come through is how the bracket adapts, how the bracket extends out from the camera body. Because like I said earlier, all three brackets do this, and you may be wondering, well, if this is one piece of metal, how does it extend? Well, it's a very clever system that they have here. This is on a sliding track. So when the 1/4-inch thread is mounted to the camera, when the camera is secure on top of the plate, you're able to move the plate outward. But there is a flaw. There is a flaw in the design, which is really unfortunate because I think it's so clever and so cool. This thing comes out so easily. There's an opening here in the track where the screw goes in so that you can, put this in. The problem though is that when the L-bracket is not in use, and when you remove it from the camera, this little piece pops out so easy because it's always sliding around in here, and it can easily pop out like that. So you may find it in the bottom of your camera bag. It could fall out, or you could leave it somewhere. In my opinion, I feel like the design would be so much better if it didn't pop out. And maybe there's some reason why they made it this way, but if this was just integrated right into the bracket and didn't pop out or come out in any way, I just feel like it would be a better design overall. Hey, so I'm jumping in here from the future because I need to re-record this part of the video because I didn't get it quite right the first time. Something else important to know about the Really Ride Stuff bracket, and this is actually true for the Sunwayfoto bracket as well, is that screen articulation on the R5 and the R6 is partially blocked when this bracket is attached. And what I mean by partially blocked is, if you open the screen on the R5 or the R6 and then try to turn it, when you have the L bracket attached, it bumps into the vertical part of the bracket here and it will not turn. However, there's some articulation of the screen allowed because there is a cutaway that's here in the side of the Really Ride Stuff bracket, and a very similar cutaway is in the side of the Sunwayfoto here as well. And what that cutaway allows you to do is you open the screen halfway and then you turn it, and then you're able to turn the screen into the bracket here. So at least then you're able to look down into the screen. You just don't have the full range of rotation that you would without the L bracket attached. Which brings us to the third L bracket, the one that is made by ProMediaGear. This one does not have any problem with screen articulation. You can open the screen, you can turn it all the way around, and it does not block the screen at all. The screen functions as normal. The side arm over here extends out. It's extended towards the front of the camera. So not only does it provide an opening here for you to be twisting and turning the screen and articulate it, but this also gives you all the space you need in order to be lifting the flaps on the side of the camera, to be attaching cables. But that's not the whole story with the ProMediaGear bracket. There are some other details that are worth pointing out. One of which is the fact that this does have a full-size Allen wrench that fits into a little magnetized slot that's in the frame here. And this just inserts right into the frame, and it does not pop out. Also, like the Sunwayfoto bracket, this one has 1/4-inch threads all over it. I mean, there's some here, there's some here, there's some up here on the top, there's even some on the side over here. At the top of the arm, there is a cold shoe mount. You can be attaching all kinds of things to this, mics, lights, whatever it is that you want to use. One of the things that I discovered when using this ProMediaGear bracket, and I don't know if this is something they market or even talk about, but one of the things I noticed, the fact that this side arm kicks out the way that it does up towards the front of the camera means that you can grip it like this. So you can hold the camera on the left and the right, and it just gives you a really stable place to be holding the camera. This is almost like a crazy hybrid of like a video cage and an L bracket, because you can do everything from holding it like this for shooting like handheld video to mounting your camera like this because it has the Arca Swiss down here. And then you can also be, using the camera in a portrait orientation. It's kind of a multi-purpose L bracket that does a bunch of different things. Now the vertical arm of the L bracket here does extend outward like the other two brackets do, even though I don't think it's as necessary because this doesn't block the ports. It's not in the way of anything, but I guess if you just wanted to get your camera a little bit higher, then you can do that. This has two steel rods that insert into the bottom of the horizontal plate here, and it's just very nice, very well designed. So final recommendation. Well, if you've been paying attention in this video and you didn't just skip ahead to this point, I think it's pretty obvious that the ProMediaGear L-Bracket is the way to go. It's not perfect. I mean, it is heavier compared to the other two, and it is just bulkier and a bit chunkier comparatively. However, the fact that you can fully articulate the screen, the fact that you have so many places to be accessorizing the camera, I think makes it worth the money. To check the current price and to learn more about the 3 L-Brackets featured in this video today, check the video description below for links. Those links, by the way, are affiliate links, which means if you were to purchase something through one, I would receive a small affiliate credit in return at no additional cost to you. And that credit, by the way, would go directly towards funding this channel, towards supporting the content that you see here. And I would appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to take the time to give the video a thumbs up. It really does help get more people exposed to the video. And if you have any questions, if there's something that I can answer for you, feel free to leave a comment. You can also reach out to me over at Instagram. Feel free to send me a direct message over there if you would like to. Follow me as well while you're there. And finally, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, if this is your first time here, this is the kind of thing I do on my channel. So feel free to subscribe if you would like to keep in touch with me in the future. Hope you enjoyed the video, everyone. I will see you next time.